This one, we're talking about energy. Okay, so energy is really interesting, and this is really involved with weed and quitting. Is that, of course, we're going to get more energy, and over about the month mark where I've been at now, is that that's really where I found the gear shift. And so when we may be going in about a gear three, maybe maxing out gear three, trying to get into gear four when we're high. For example, I was very hard working whilst I was high. I just wasn't achieving what I wanted. I wasn't getting those rewards. I'd always just take it into a high gear three, and I'd never actually turn it up a notch. So what happens is when we quit weed, when we quit some vices, is that we attain that normal, that consistent gear four. We shift upwards, and maybe we might go down a bit and up as we're just gauging where we are, and we move into that around gear four. Considering now maybe gear five, around 5 gears, or even 6 gears if you're in a really sporty car, for example, if we're really pushing. And really what happens is that we understand what gear three generally is, as it's around the middle. And we move into about gear four when we're actually sort of pushing ourselves into this extra outside of our comfort zone, into this higher momentum. So moving up a gear is really important in terms of helping us move to places that we haven't been before. And what really happens is when you get into a high momentum, when you're really moving upwards in the sort of statistical, the ladder of your own sort of psychological status, is that you are starting to really understand the full spectrum, the full range of your gears that you can move in. And this is where the energy then moves into that gear five, where we start to see that there's a whole new bracket that we haven't been in. This is linking with one of my videos where I talked about going up into a different league. And this is similar in terms of our own internal energy, as opposed to being held back by other people. This is ourself holding ourselves back, but also holding ourselves responsible for going up as well. So this is where the energy just goes up into around a gear five or something, and we're starting to really see our capability. And this is just evident in the way that we're growing and moving, in the way that we're learning that there's more to us than what we may have known. And this is what people generally fall into, is that what they think their capability is what they call normal. And so this is where the outliers really stand out, is because they understand that normal never really gets the big rewards. That's where, the majority go into, they get the same types of rewards, they get taxed the same, they have the same mindset. And this is where we really just push ourselves, understand that there's 5 gears. And then later down the line, I can talk about the 6th gear, but I haven't actually reached that gear yet. So I have no idea if it exists, though in my mind, I do believe it exists, hence why we're just pushing forward. And that's where I think everyone else should be as well, thinking that there is more than 5 gears. There's a whole new gear which comes to a point where you push over into this 6th gear, and then past that is where you start to, you enter into the realm of Jesus and things which aren't actually seen. Okay, so yeah, this is just a message about energy. There's so much more potential ahead, and just because we've only made 1 month and we've understood that we're going into a higher gear, doesn't mean that we can stop now. And we've got far more capability as human beings, the most intelligent force on this planet, potentially in the universe. So yeah, constant, never-ending improvement. Keep being a boss, keep being a beast. Come on, let's go.